And Jennifer's Tigers is a feminist poem written by Adrienne Rich. Now, before we begin, there is a slight error in the this one. Okay, it is Jennifer's apostrophe s. Jennifer's Tigers, and this is just an old version of the text. It should be 5 because one poem had already been reduced. So Adrienne Rich was known for her poems on women. Okay, her poems represented the suppression and oppression faced by the women section of the society. He writes against the patriarchy. I'm so sorry. She writes against the patriarchy. She voices the female words. Okay, the poem on Jennifer's Tigers. The poem on Jennifer's Tigers addresses the constraints of married life of women experiences. So this is a very easy and yet very deep poem. Here, Adrienne Rich tries to show what a what it looks like, what a married life, an unhappy married life looks like. Okay, for a woman who has experienced suppression, oppression, who has experienced metaphorical imprisonment in marriage, how burdensome can that kind of marriage be? All right, let us first read the text. It is a very small poem. It just has 3 stanzas with 4 lines each. On Jennifer's Tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Aunt Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. Let us analyze the poem line wise. Now, what is the premise of the poem? Aunt Jennifer, okay, she is the wife, okay, and she is the suppressed wife. She is the marriage that is referred to here. She has a marital discord. She is dominated by her husband. All right, it is almost like she is imprisoned in this marital obligation. All right, whereas how does she express her inner feelings, how does she express her inner voice? She expresses her inner voice through art. All right, through art. And what does she not draw, but what does she sew? That is embroidery. She is making a tapestry. Tapestry means a screen. Okay, she is making a tapestry, a screen of fabric, and she is making patterns of tigers in the in on the screen. Patterns of tigers. She is embroidering various patterns of tigers jumping, tigers relaxing in their forest areas, in their habitat. She is making such images. That is her art. Okay, now right at the beginning we can find the contrast between the creator and the creation. The creator is imprisoned, the creation is free. The creator is imprisoned. Okay, the creation is, that is the tigers, the creation is free. The creator is dominated and very timid. Okay, whereas the tigers are bold and confident. Okay, the creator, that is Aunt Jennifer, the artist, is fearful of her husband, whereas the art, that is the tigers, are fearless of the men. Okay, the Aunt Jennifer's life is dull, no liveliness is there, whereas the tigers' lives are bright and vivid. Okay, bright and very lively, because they are prancing, they are jumping, they are bright colored as yellow. Okay, etc. Let us now read the text. Yeah, once you have understood the contrast, it will be very easy for you to understand all the three stanzas. First stanza. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright opus denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. Now, the tigers that Aunt Jennifer has created, they are leaping, jumping, prancing means to leap, to jump. Okay, they are having how is the image? The image is a tiger is having an energetic leap or jump. Okay, unlike the passive passivity of Aunt Jennifer's life. That I This is an example of metaphor. The second line. Okay, bright topaz. Now topaz is a yellow colored gemstone. Yellow colored gemstone. Okay, very bright yellow color. When we do the analysis part, you will understand the color. So the poet has compared the brightness of the tiger's color with that of the topaz. And denizens means inhabitants of the world of green, that is inhabitants of the forest. All right. They, that means the tiger, unlike Aunt Jennifer, they do not fear the men beneath the tree. Who are the men beneath the tree? These are the hunters. Unlike Aunt Jennifer, who is fearful of her husband, almost the exploiter, the person who is preying upon her, right? Unlike her, these tigers, her creation is fearless, and they have a very sleek. What is the meaning of sleek? Sleek means shiny. We all know how the skin of the tigers are, right? It is shiny, it is sleek, just like the in the advertisements of shampoo and all, you have a very sleek hair, fall of hair, right? Sleek, chivalric. What is the meaning of chivalric? Very polite attitude, politeness towards women. Okay, towards women, like in today's times, a man opening the door of a car for the women, or a man like help not helping, like sharing the carrying of load. Okay, the physical load of the women, all these are chivalric. We are not going to the feminist point of view here. We are saying that chivalry, if we look at the history of the world, chivalry was comes from the knightly attitude. Knightly means KNIHT. Knightly attitude, who were very much respectful and polite towards the ladies. Okay, in the olden times. So these tigers are very bold in their step. They have a certainty towards their life. They are very chivalric. They are very elegant in their movement. Coming to the next stanza. Aunt Jennifer. Now, Aunt Jennifer is physically and emotionally devastated because of the marriage. Her marriage is so unhappy and so full of burden that she is physically and emotionally exhausted. All right, she is so much exhausted that she is finding even the ivory needle, the needle that she is using to sew the pattern of tigers, that ivory needle is also very heavy for her, and that is why her fingers are trembling. All right, and the poet says very interesting, very nicely. The poet says that her fingers are fluttering, her fingers are trembling, and she is finding even the needle very heavy to pull. Why? Because the wedding ring is so burdensome on her finger, metaphorically. Okay, so the wedding ring that she is wearing, it is sitting in a with a very heavy weight on her hand. This entire image is metaphor as well as symbolism. Let's see. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool, alliteration, through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Okay, so the marriage itself is symbolic. Okay, the wedding ring is symbolic of the unhappy, traumatized marriage that Aunt Jennifer has had. Okay, and it has taken a toll at her physical strength, at her mental strength, at her emotional strength. The wedding band, that is the wedding ring, is so burdensome because of the marital discord and obligation that it has completely destroyed the creator. All right, coming to the last stanza. Now, there is a very interesting difference at the beginning of the last stanza. If you see, if you notice, in the first two stanzas, we have the name Aunt Jennifer. But Adrienne Rich is brilliant enough to have not given the name here and addressed as aunt. Aunt Jennifer is addressed as aunt, which indicates what? That no identity. Aunt Jennifer could not establish her identity during her lifetime, and hence, with her death, her identity is also gone. So, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The poet says, although the physical being, that is the physical existence of aunt, will end. Okay, when aunt dies, even her death will not be able to free her from the suppression or from the control that she had to experience during her married life. Why? Because the ring will always be there in her hands. Even her death, even the poet is saying, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. So the death will not take away the terror that she has had, and that terror will be reflected in her hands. How? Through the ring. Okay, through the wedding ring, uh, because of which she was controlled by her husband. Now, what is the meaning of ordeals? Um, ordeals means, we can say, uh, prolonged unpleasant experience. Okay, prolonged unpleasant experience. So ordeal means prolonged unpleasant experience. All the kinds of dominations, subjugations that she had to experience during her marital life, that is represented by the ring, which will still be there when she would die, on her hands. Okay, however, in contrast to the death of the creator, the creation will continue to live. The tigers in the panel, that is the screen that she made, will go on prancing proud and unafraid. So although the creator dies, the creation will live. So Aunt Jennifer, through by voicing her inner feelings through her art, has given a permanent mark of her desire. The creator is dead, and the creation is alive. Okay, the creation is permanent. The art artist is mortal, that is dead, but the art is permanent. The tigers, the desire that she has had during her lifetime, she would have that desire eternally. Desire to be free, bold, confident, fearless, bright, vivid, full of energy, etc., just like the tigers. Okay, I'm reading the poem once again. I hope it is clear. And Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree, they pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. And Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon her hand. When Aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. All right, we shall continue with this poem in our next video, where we will explore the analytical and the critical part of the poem along with the poetic devices. All right, and with that video, with our next video, we will end the series of the poems, and then we shall resume the prose chapters of our Flamingo. Thank you, students. If you have any doubt, please do ask me, reach out to me in the during the classes. Thank you.